Is that a Kia? Uh-oh. I think I buried it. Sometimes the path forward isn't about having all the answers. It's about staying flexible and making the best of what's in front of you. This week, I'm flirting with the idea of introducing livestock onto the property. I haven't quite settled on which animals or where they're gonna go or how I'll house them. There's a lot of details to figure out. But when I stumbled across a $150 chicken run, I saw it as an opportunity. A cheap bet that's worth taking. Even if it doesn't work out for housing chickens, it still could serve as the foundation for something else. With the help of a young German volunteer, a longtime viewer of the channel who wanted to see it all firsthand, we took that chance and we ran with it. Together, we repurposed the run, we moved a lot of dirt with heavy equipment, and we dug an earthen pit that starts to resemble the idea of a Wallapini greenhouse. That's a greenhouse that's intentionally half embedded in the earth. However, I didn't want to have an actual greenhouse. I was more thinking about how I can keep plants safe in the summertime. And with having a shade house half buried between the shade cloth on top and 2-foot walls buried into the earth, it helps reduce the temperature and makes it just a little bit more hospitable for the plants. But this whole process isn't just about building, it's about embracing the adaptability, learning on the go, and seeing the potential where others might not. I'm really happy with the end result. I initially thought I might use it for chickens, and we might still wind up doing that. However, I wanted to walk you through my thought process because one of the core promises of this channel is me learning on camera. And when I show up with a $150 chicken run, I didn't just know exactly how I was going to use it. It goes into the broader picture. I don't even know if I'm going to have chickens, but I do know it would be handy to have walls of any kind with a roof, even if we just throw shade fabric over the top. My dilemma is whether to put it over by the nursery, where I know we can use it for a shade house, but then it's exposed to the wind, or if I want to put it up here where I might realistically have chickens. It's right next to camp, and I haven't made up my mind yet, so I thought, you know what, why don't I just walk around and get a sense for what's going to make sense and what may not. Like I was telling Brandon, when I try to plan on Google Earth, I mean, it definitely helps, but there's nothing like actually being here and walking around and seeing. But I think the space right here might just be fine. It's close enough that Brandon can keep an eye on it. One thing chickens are not known for is their heat tolerance. Not the lightest thing in the world. At least it's something, and we can add fortifications later. I ran out of twist ties, and this feels chintzy. I mean, this is fine for a suburban backyard. I'm not surprised that this isn't the best thing, so we'll figure out what to do with it. I don't feel confident at all putting livestock in this. I mean, I could get through this without any tools. Anything that's hungry out here, I'm sure could do the same. So this was a whole day I spent doing this, and now I'm kind of regretting it. I probably won't regret it later, but for now I'm just I'm just disappointed. I don't like when things come out chintzy. Anyway, let's get some sleep, get some supper, and get back at it tomorrow. I very much had the idea of a Wallapini greenhouse in mind, which is why I started digging with the mini-excavator. But after I dug for 20 minutes, I realized this project is going to take all day long. I really wish I had a larger mini-excavator, but this is the one that was at auction for dirt cheap. I can hear the arms squeaking. Let's see if we can't figure this greasing out, because it's driving me nuts. You must be David.
I'm David, exactly.
How was the drive? Is that a Kia?
Yes, an experience.
Especially in that vehicle. I mean, it made it.
I don't know how, but it made it.
Oh my goodness. Well, welcome.
I brought 3 bags of wood chips and a few small bags of manure.
Thank you.
I thought they might help.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put it to use. Do you have a preference? So if you want to be completely indoors, you can be in here. And this will get you out of the wind and everything. If you want a slightly more camping experience, you can sleep in the drash tent, which will keep the wind off you, but obviously it'll be slightly drafty. Brandon, this is David from Germany.
Hi, David.
Now let's we'll go set you up real quick. We'll go to the drash tent.
It can be pretty noisy. Don't feel like you can't migrate in there in the middle of the night if you get uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can.
The tent will flap in the wind. It gets really windy up here.
Okay.
You look like you're dressed for driving, but not necessarily ranching. I can't believe you got that out here. You know the phrase that comes to mind when I see that?
What?
Drive it like a rental.
It is a rental.
I know. Thank you to Sundays for Dogs for sponsoring this week's episode. Sundays is human-grade dog food made from a short list of ingredients. 90% meat, 10% vegetables, and 0% weird stuff. Dog parents report numerous health benefits in their pups, including softer fur, better breath, better poo-poos, and more energy when switching to Sundays. But honestly, the real reason I love feeding my dogs Sundays is just the joy that they're clearly experiencing when they eat human quality food. They are ecstatic when I put that little quarter cup in their bowl. They dive in, they eat every little bit of it, and they're dying for more, but I don't want my little pups to be fat, so quarter cup you get. Unlike other dog food, Sundays doesn't require any preparation whatsoever. You literally just pour and serve. And that's a result of the way they air dry the food. Take 60% off of your first order of Sundays until December 8th. Go to sundaysfordogs.com/dustups and use the promotion code dustups during checkout. That's going to get you 60% off of your first order until December 8th. Everything on the dozer should be good on fluids. I just got to gas it up and put some grease. It occurred to me, you know what, maybe it's not going to be as perfect, but if I run the bulldozer, this is going to go so much faster. Let me check this first. Okay, transmission's full. Hydraulic oil's full. Check the coolant. It's all fine. Let me go get a pair of gloves on real fast. Do you want to do it?
Do what exactly?
I'm gonna grease the bulldozer. It's just using a grease gun. I don't want to make you just stand around and watch me. If you want to try doing it, you're welcome to, but
I'd rather have you do it.
all right. Okay. Well, if you manage to mess the grease up, that'd be very impressive, but I understand the sentiment. Just be careful because you don't want to breathe this stuff. Just making sure that the metal isn't rubbing on each other. That's it. Some of the grease is for pressure.
So for the joints.
Yeah, exactly. It's for the joints. I was absolutely sure I saw Brandon put the tape measure on the Mini or around it or something like that. But I don't know where it is. And I don't think he put it on the ground, but if he put it on the ground, I'm never finding it. Let's just go get the cage, and luckily it's small enough we can just maneuver it and see how we're doing. I think all my trenching this morning with the Mini was an absolute waste. But, you know, if the dozer actually did the job and it did what we need, then who cares? I was pretty sure I saw you set down the tape measure.
I did, on a rock.
Uh-oh.
Right where you had the camera.
I think I buried it.
It was very apparent right next to the camera. Maybe it still is.
I buried the tape measure.
Yeah, because the camera was over there, right?
Yeah, it was like right here.
Yeah, it was on a rock right there.
Does that look like it's 9 by 13? Maybe 10 by 13?
Yeah, we got that.
Okay.
Are we gonna have to crawl to get in there?
I mean, if we need to, we can pull out a little walkway. David, do you mind helping me? We want to try to carry that chicken run, the thing with the white tarp on top.
Yeah, I wanted to show you I have 3. This is manure, 3 manure, and these are wood chips.
Sweet. We'll put them to work. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
I mean, I thought when I'm already going here.
Yeah. And obviously the Kia Soul is the ideal tool for that. Cool. Yeah, we'll probably drive it up towards. Actually, we'll drop it off at the nursery more than likely, most of it. That's what we're turning that thing into. We want to use the structure just to wrap shade cloth around it, and I dug that basically a bunker with the bulldozer. So that it's out of the wind. I mean, on days like today, it's just absolutely beautiful. But there are times when the wind is ferocious, and we got to protect my baby trees. I don't know if this is going to be doable with 2 guys or not, but I think we might be able just to walk it.
It doesn't seem that heavy.
You'd be surprised. I think it's about 120 pounds. When I lifted it, it was pretty heavy as a single piece. Yeah, it's fine. It's not that bad. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, it's not so bad. Just be careful walking around the cactus, okay? Is this what you thought you'd be doing today?
I didn't know what I would be doing. I thought, worst case, I just run around all day long and collecting seeds.
Okay, we're gonna set this in the big hole, and then you're gonna, let me, whoop, hang on. Whoa.
You okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can dig the rest of this out with a shovel. And when we dig it out, it'll sink quite a bit more as well. So it'll be even more out of the wind.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
No problem. That's why I'm here.
This is a full meter where this bar is. So if we can get this down another 30 centimeters, almost half the structure will be out of the wind. Like just standing here, there's almost no wind right on my hands, but up here I can feel it. This actually worked out great. This went so fast. I thought this would be like a day-long project, and we're almost done.
There's YouTube advertising that's paying for me to be a hermit.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That is. This is
Social media funded
your hermetism.
Antisocial behavior. That's what we're looking at when you look in this direction.
Well stated, sir. Ironically, wearing more clothes in the sun is actually better.
Definitely for the skin.
Did it feel better?
I don't know if I can feel the difference, but I know since the UV rays cause skin cancer and damage the DNA, it's just not good to have your skin in direct sunlight.
Well, that's definitely true. But I notice, I mean, I feel a little warmer, but it's a different kind of warmth. If I have bare skin in the sun, it's not warm. I feel like I'm cooking. And look at this, we can kind of sort of work in the shade. Okay, so start by get rid of that. Okay, and then
it's just gravel and sand and no dirt or soil or anything.
yeah, there's nothing alive about this. It's all just dead. Yeah, I'm gonna dig some from the outside. Well, that is obviously not smart. I think that's honestly adequate. Some of this we should use the mini excavator for, just to like knock it down real fast. But we don't want to put too much weight on the walls. We just want like these gaps to fill in, but I think we can take care of that later. Does it feel like it feels pretty level down here?
I can definitely not judge level by eye.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's level. I'm saying it's not like, whoa.
Not completely off.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't feel like I'm walking sideways. We can stack the rocks and we'll get the shade cloth over the top of this. We want to be able to walk in here and have it shady, and Brandon can weave some galvanized wire through this just to get it, or even use zip ties.
To stiffen it up.
Yeah, stiffen it up, put it all together. We just want to keep the birds out.
Water gonna go right here?
Yeah, I think this would be the perfect part. It makes sense. You think we have enough work room here?
Yeah, I don't know what I was picturing, but yeah, this is perfect.
Because like, obviously this will be shade cloth and not this canvas, but it's super comfortable.
We should just leave this plastic tarp there and shade cloth over it for extra.
We're just gonna somewhat-ish level the floor. I'm just digging this pile out. And I'm just putting it here. Sorry. It's a dusty place. Let me just take one or two. Sorry. What I want you to do is use some of that galvanized wire. Just kind of like stitch it.
Okay.
Just to get it
I'll use something a little lighter than that.
Okay.
I'll get it done.
Or zip ties, but the zip ties are going to degrade over time.
The bank line will last years.
Okay. But basically weave this together, and then once this is relatively secure, you're going to drape shade cloth over Definitely the top and the sides. It doesn't really need to go all the way to the bottom, but
Okay.
just do your best.
That side for sure, right?
Absolutely. All right, so now the nursery is now upgraded. That's great. I'm so glad I realized the dozer would go so much faster.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you didn't shovel?
Oh my word. I would have been still on the mini-X, just very monotonously scraping away. This building is not super secure. It's not keeping out a badger. It's not keeping out a mountain lion. I think a coyote could probably get in there if it wanted to, but no animal like that is incentivized to try to attack plants, which makes me feel good about it. This has shade cloth. It's a strong deterrent for rodents and some of the pests that attack the young plants. We've already had pretty severe losses from mice eating young trees. It's actually around camp where we were keeping the young trees in buckets and containers, and the rats were still getting in there. So we're hoping that this enclosed space is going to be more of a deterrent. We're gonna have to learn to deal with the rats and keep them out of our hard work, and that's gonna be part of the learning process. Dust Up's content does not have to end here. I recently was at Cerro Gordo visiting Brent Underwood from Ghost Town Living, and one thing I had never seen on his channel is a native pinyon pine forest. Untouched, it's in beautiful condition, and I wanted to share with you guys the opportunity to expand that forest all the way into his revived ghost town. Make sure you go watch that episode now by clicking the link in the description or scanning the QR code that you see on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in that bonus episode.